Welcome to In the Huddle. The huddle is where teammates gather together. They come together for instruction, inspiration, and camaraderie, and to get ready for the very next play. Thanks for joining me.
We are changed. We're going to change the way we run. We're going to change the way we eat. We're going to change the way we block. We're going to change the way we tackle. We're going to change the way we win. Defense.
I love that scene from Remember the Titans. Coach Boone was helping his team to think about change the way they block and change the way they tackle. And that's what we're focusing on this series, changing our habits. We're looking at 7 habits that can destroy marriages and developing 7 new habits that can enhance and bless our relationships. The habit I want to focus on in this segment is the habit of being critical all the time. And here's part of our problem, gentlemen, is when we're at work, we're oftentimes critical, but we solve the problems that we recognize most of the time. And when we get home, we use the same critical problem-solving techniques that we used at work at home, and they break down and they don't work. And so I think if we can start changing the habit of being critical at home, we can see real blessings take place. And what I mean by being critical is seeing the problems in everything all the time and being critical about it. How often do we go by our kids' room and say, clean up your room, brush your teeth, do this, do that? I looked at my life at one point and realized most of my interactions with my kids were corrective or instructive. Why is that? Because I'm really constantly critical. I could come home and say, why is the dishes still not done in the sink? Why is the kitchen counter dirty? Why is the living room a mess? That to me is being critical, and we're naturally that way. Now, here's another thing to consider. Some of us are outwardly critical, like me. I will let it hit my lips and make a mess. Other guys are inwardly critical. They're thinking it, they're feeling it, they're just not saying it. And a lot of times those guys think they're really being Christ-like because they're not saying it. But here's a problem. Our wives still feel it. Whether we say it or not, our wives feel the critical spirit that we're emanating in the room. And a lot of times they pick it up and we don't even realize it. Let me give you an illustration. One morning, my wife comes into the living room and Carol says to me, "Are you okay?" And I do one of these. "Yeah, I'm fine." And she turns around and walks away. The next thing you know, I'm yelling at the dog, which is just stupid, right? Yelling at the dog shows that there's something going on in my spirit that I wasn't aware of. And so sure enough, Carol comes around the corner. She looks at me with the, "Now do you know what I was talking about?" look. And I ask her, I go, "You saw that coming, didn't you?" And she's like, they feel it. They can feel what's going on in our spirit, gentlemen. Whether we say things or not, they can feel us. That's why a man who has found a wife has found a good thing and is blessed of the Lord. I got convicted about this many years ago when we got a new puppy. We got a Rottweiler puppy, and I wanted to raise this dog very well, so I got the Kohler Method of Dog Training book. And I read in this book that for every one time I corrected the dog, I was supposed to praise it 4 times. Oh my goodness, I thought, I don't even do that with my kids. And so the habit we need to look at from going from being critical to being grateful. Gentlemen, can we learn to be grateful? When we're critical, the effect on our family can be devastating. My wife, who desires value and acceptance, is going to feel discouraged, unloved, uncared for, and unappreciated. And if I'm critical with the kids consistently, they're going to feel like they can never measure up. They're going to feel totally defeated in life, and they're going to lose confidence. If I can change from being critical to being grateful, my wife will feel more valuable. She will feel more cared for. She will feel more like I actually love her. And the kids can feel like what they do is good and right and hang in there. Isn't it true that many times we go in their room and we'll see that they've cleaned it up because we asked them to, and we'll point out the 2 or 3 things that weren't done? That's being critical. Rather than saying something like, "Wow, you really did a great job. I'm proud of you. Thanks for taking the time to do it. Way to go." See, many times guys think that, oh, that's disingenuous because they didn't do a good job. Well, they did. It depends on your perfectionist frame of reference. Are you willing to be grateful and appreciate what your kids are doing? Let me give you this scripture to help you. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on these things." That's Philippians 4:8. Those are the things we're supposed to focus on, the things that are good and positive and noble, and pass those things on to our children and let our wives know how grateful we are for them. So what I want to do, because this is really important, the only place I'm going to find gratefulness, honestly, is trying to find the fingerprints of God in my life. I've got to have community and communion with the Spirit of God. And it's up to me to get that kind of revelation from Him, to become more and more grateful for what He's doing in my life. So I'd like to share with you a video from Third Day called Revelation. And it's all about finding Christ and having personal revelation with the Spirit of God. Enjoy.
My life is leading me down the road so uncertain. Now I am left alone and I am broken, trying to find my way, trying to find the faith that's gone. This time I know that you are holding all the answers. I'm tired of losing hope and taking chances on the roads that never seem to be the ones that bring me home. Well, give me a revelation, show me what to do, 'cause I've been trying to find my way.
revelation. Revelation from the Spirit of God to develop greater gratefulness in our lives. And my challenge to you is to get a 3x5 note card and every day write down 3 things where you see the fingerprints of God working in your life, and share them with your family at the evening dinner table or before you go to bed. 3 things that you're grateful to God for. So here's the play. We're going to reject being negative and we're going to discover gratefulness. On 2, ready, break.